So hiring. When should you hire for your info product business? So when it comes to hiring, you have to remember it's to buy back your time. That's really the main objective with hiring people, because when you're new and you're starting everything, I recommend, unless you have the funds and you have experience, I would do everything on your own. I would do the sales, the marketing, the client success management, the managing the course, managing the students. Everything has to be done by yourself, right? Because you want to know, first of all, you want to understand every role and understand if it's even needed to be optimized, right? So that's kind of the main thing that you guys should be doing when it comes to hiring, or sorry, when you're starting off, is do everything yourself. Do everything yourself. Do everything yourself. Do everything yourself. Once you start making some dough, then you want to reinvest your profits immediately into removing yourself from the activities that take up your time that do not generate income. Okay, so it takes up your time and it does not generate you income. For example, let's say it's about managing students who are asking you questions. Although that is very important, maybe you can learn to hire someone or an instructor to handle that for you. Or let's say you have a role where you're, let's say within your business, you are doing things like uh, very tedious activities or very monotonous activities, like sending out cold outreach or setting in the DMs. Right, that was the first person I hired, was someone to do the DM setting for me. So DM setting is basically where I post content on Instagram, and people from YouTube also came to my channel, and I would just say, hey, if you are interested in learning breaking into tech, DM me the word, this keyword, and then people would respond back with that keyword, right? And then I would have to message them back and forth or whatever, right? That role, I used to do that myself, but it's very time consuming. You got to respond to messages promptly. You got to send out a lot of outbound messages. It's a lot of work, right? So what I did is I hired someone, preferably overseas since it's cheaper. I hired someone to do that for me, and that literally skyrocketed my business. It's actually crazy how quickly that grew my business, right? Because I was spending a lot of time on that, even though that does generate revenue. It is very time consuming. Really, the most impactful activity really I wanted to focus on was just, okay, let me just get on sales calls, right? I wanted to do the selling myself, and that's kind of what I was doing, right? I was just doing. I had a setter, and I was creating the content. Content is, that's really the only thing that you can't really remove yourself from. Obviously, you're gonna have to record the content yourself, right? Because especially if you have your own brand and you're using your name, image, and likeness to grow yourself, then obviously you can't really remove yourself from that. But I would create content and just go on sales calls. Those are the two things that you should be really focusing on in the beginning, anyways, is sales and content, because content is really just the marketing. So if you dial those two in and that's all you focus on, you can easily hit 50K months, right? And then you can just hire away everything else. Obviously, when it comes to what matters also is your product as well, and how the product is. So in terms of that, I had basically like 3 calls a week with my students. But as we grew, I was like, okay, we need to hire someone to manage the students, and we hired another instructor, because I was the only one doing the instructing. I was the only one teaching. I was the only one teaching them network engineering stuff, and that was very time consuming. And I also had a full time job at that time. It was very time consuming, and I was like, okay, I'm saying the same things over and over and over again. Let me hire another network engineer to do that for me, right? And that's what I did. I hired another network engineer, and once I did that, I was able to basically buy back my time, right? And Dan Martell has a book on this. It's called Buy Back My Time. And anything that does not make you money, does not make the business money, you should not be doing, right? Your goal, to some degree, is to make you as a business owner, your goal is to make money, right? So if you're doing things that are not making you money as a CEO, I mean, you're kind of wasting your time. You really are wasting your time, and it isn't a good use of your time, in my honest opinion, right? You should always be focusing on what's going to bring in the dough, right? And that is obviously creating content and sales calls. That's all you got to be doing. Obviously, as you scale, then you want to go ahead and hire a sales team, because after a certain while, I mean, it's too much to do all these sales calls. Especially if you're getting like 5 or 6 or 7 sales calls a day, that's very exhausting, especially when you have other things to do. So at that point, that's where I hired a sales team. because I was doing all the sales, and also I was working a full-time job, so I didn't even have time for sales. And I was just like, it was a headache. It really was a headache to do all these sales calls. And I was like, you know what? And the thing is, I recorded all of my sales calls, right? So I knew what is needed for me to, um, for them to be able to close, right? So I hired someone who's already a closer, already in the tech space industry. It was so easy for me to train them, and they were able to close literally the first deal. As soon as I got a salesperson, I mean, I was just going for a walk, as he was taking that sales call, and I was just like, wait a minute, he closed the deal as I was going for a walk. It's like, that's what kind of blows your mind, is like, once you start hiring people, it gets extremely easy for you to it kind of motivates you, because it's almost like passive income, because you now have people working for you who are making the business money for you, right? It's like you were doing it all on your own, all by yourself, and now you have another individual who's doing that for you. It's absolutely amazing once you can get to that point. And that was really when I realized, like, damn, like, why am I not in why did I not hire sooner? I was really avoidant of hiring. I didn't think hiring was important, but if you're in the info product space, you gotta hire. And hire overseas, hire in Africa, hire in Asia. Those countries, they have really talented individuals who are able to really, really excel and really offer you and really help you grow your business, right? And I mean, another good way is poaching too. Feel free to poach, right? Poaching is another thing you do. I didn't poach myself, but I reached out to another person who's in the industry, and was able to get a hold of him, and now he's working for me. So it's like, do that as well. That's another opportunity for you. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Damn, this gym is packed. Damn, look at this gym, guys. It's absolutely packed right now. Like, this is like the gym right there, and it's like all these damn cars here. Anyways, I gotta find a place to park. I literally just had lunch. I ate a whole pizza. I was starving. Now I gotta go and do my full body workout. But I spent so much time doing stuff that did not bring the business money, and I was actually wasting. I was really, really losing money doing that. Right? You are losing money by doing things that don't make you money. Think of it like that, right? So I spent a lot of time doing that. Waste of time. I do not. I regret doing that, right? So yeah. I mean, that's kind of where the business side is at. Um, in terms of hiring people, you should always hire. Hiring is actually, if you hire the right people, that is probably one of the most highest improving or highest income producing activity you can do, is hiring the right people. Because if you hire the right people, obviously maybe they're not a salesperson and making you money, but they're actually saving you time, and you're using that time. If you use that time wisely, you can deploy it somewhere else, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm at the point where time is the only infinite resource that you have. There's nothing more than time, right? Like, without time, guys, you're literally cooked, right? If I was 20 again, I would have so much time to grind, right? I wish that I used to always wonder, like, why, like, Gary Vee would be like, yo, I don't, I want to be 20 again. I never understood that, but now it would make so much sense, because if I could start over from scratch and be 20 again, I would run to that right now. I would literally throw all my life savings, everything, throw it away. Just give me my brain and everything that I know, and I'll be 20 again. I would literally take that trade right now. And it's crazy to say that, because I used to not believe in that trade. But even though I'm only 27, those 7 years, I would go back to 20 and run away. Even 18, I would run to that age right now. There's so much opportunity. So if you guys are younger, please take advantage of that. And time is your infinite resource, and hiring is going to buy back your time. So focus on hiring. Hire the right people as well. You got to interview them. You got to test them. You got to put them on a trial, right? And once you hire the right people, pay them. Pay them. Do not be cheap. If you're very cheap, they're gonna go somewhere else. So pay up, pay the price. These people are going to work hard for you, respect you, and put in the work. And obviously, when you hire people, you got to make sure they're in the right frame of mind. You got to understand that we're here to make money, we're here to grow. If they don't believe in that, just take them out, right? I heard it's hire slow, fire fast. That's kind of how it is. And when you find the right people, you want to help them grow within your company, right? And ideally, you want the right people around you to help you grow, right? So just know that, and it's hiring is the most important thing. So that's all I wanted to bring up with you guys on hiring and why it's so important. You can't skip on it. You can't ignore it. And it's the highest leverage activity you can do by far is hiring the right person. By far, it's more important than actually anything is hiring the right people. Because if I hired like Alex Hormozy to my company, right, and before he was famous, before anyone knew him, but he had the mind that he has now, guys, it would be amazing, right, to have an individual like that on your team, right? So it makes sense why companies are always hiring, and every good company should always be hiring no matter what, even if you're above capacity. If you find the right person, you're gonna make a role for them. So it's very important. I would hire in the beginning stuff that's very time consuming. It doesn't really make as much money, and then you focus on the things that make money. And then once you've done that, then you can optimize that. And then at the end of the day, your goal as a CEO is just to make high level decisions. And if you're in the info product space and you're customer facing, then that's making content as well. So besides that, that's all you got to do is marketing and decision making at the high level. But and once you're in the trenches, you got to do everything on your own. But that's fun. That's part of the game. It's a fun game to play. So thank you guys so much. Hope you guys have a good one. I'm about to go to the gym. Peace.